This zone's dedicated to all the broken hearts.
Hey guys, this is Matthew Lee. So I have the new carbon fiber Wushu staff, or Cudgel, or Gun, or whatever you want to call it. It's usually just called staff in English. So I have that, which my friend Jason Liu, who's also my senior and my teammate, got for me. By the way, again, thank you Jason, I really appreciate it. And I've had it for a little bit now, but I finally got a chance to actually try it out recently. And for some reason, I thought it'd be a good idea to do a video review of this and put it up on YouTube. Now, as far as I know, there's only one other person on YouTube who's actually done a review of this. And aside from Mark Moran's blogs and vlogs, Wushuzilla, or Wushu Adventures as it's now called, unfortunately there isn't a lot of information on this. So for those of you that are interested in this product, I just thought I might try to help and throw my 2 cents in. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is just a quick comparison before we actually start to take a look at the new carbon fiber staff. This is the carbon fiber staff. This is a white waxwood staff, which is what Wushu staffs were usually made out of. And this is actually the last white waxwood staff I used for competition. So as you can see, different sounds. Okay, so first off, just a quick rundown of how it feels. Obviously it's harder and more durable than white waxwood, and unlike white waxwood staffs, which have natural knots in them that can cause them to break more easily, the carbon fiber staff is completely straight. The top half of the staff is really smooth, but the bottom half is, I don't want to say rough because it's not coarse to the touch, it's just grippy. Which is good because you can grab from here to here, which is where the hands mostly are for staff techniques. The grippy part stops right here, just above the print, and then it's just smooth onwards. From what I understand, the original carbon fiber staffs were smooth all the way, which made them slippery, which is why China athletes had to put grips on their staffs to, keep them from flying out of their hands. But apparently Wacing fixed that in the newest ones here, which is good. But if you wanted to still add grips to these just to be safe, I wouldn't blame you. Also, another thing is that, contrary to what most of you may think, it's not completely stiff like a monkey staff or like a karate graphite bow staff. It is flexible to a certain degree, so it feels a lot closer to white waxwood than I thought at first, which makes me happy.
Mr. Worldwide. Get on the floor, darling. Get on the Red one.
Let me introduce you to my party people in the club.
Okay, so I guess the first thing everybody's wondering is how the new carbon fiber staff compares to white waxwood staffs when you practice with it, or more specifically, if it's heavier or not. Now, I've heard that it's heavier and I've heard that it's lighter, so I guess that really depends on the kind of staff you've been using before. If you've been using a comparatively thicker staff before, chances are it'll feel lighter to you. If you've been using thinner staffs, in other words, if you're spoiled like me and you use light staffs that break very easily, it is heavier. I remember reading on Mark Moran's old Wushuzilla blog that the new carbon fiber staff was made heavier than the wooden ones for northern staffs, whereas the new carbon fiber Nangun was made lighter than older Nanguns, which doesn't make any sense since northern staff has a lot of swinging techniques and southern staff has more two-handed striking techniques, so making it heavier for northern staffs doesn't help. Now, I've never tried the carbon fiber Nangun, much less done Nanquan, so I don't know if that's true or not. But for me, the carbon fiber staff is only slightly heavier, so to me it's not really a problem, it's just a marginal difference that doesn't really change a lot. So as you can obviously see, for me, white waxwood staffs are faster, but again, not by much. I've been told that the carbon fiber staff has a really good balance, and I agree with that. I do feel like I have a good amount of control with it, so that's a plus. Again, it is harder than white wax wood stabs, so just be careful that you don't hit yourself on the head. You might get a concussion. I don't know, I haven't tried that yet. Now, one concern I'm aware of about this staff is that people are afraid of having wrist problems from using it. That hasn't happened to me yet. I haven't experienced anything like that so far, but worst case scenario, if you're having wrist problems, I would recommend doing wrist circles, you know, the kind that you do during warm-ups, and wrist stretches, palm stretches, and wrist strengthening exercises like wrist curls and wrist rotations or circles with weights. Just like in Mark Moran's the top 5 Wushu strength training exercises Yang Yuhong interview video on YouTube. One thing I've noticed is that the carbon fiber staff has a lot less rebound than white wax wood staffs, like when doing the shuai gun technique, which is slamming on the ground or smacking on the ground or whatever you want to call it. Obviously this gives you better control of the stab, so there's another advantage. For the diangun technique, we just call it tapping in the US, I've heard conflicting things. I've heard that the carbon fiber staff is faster, but I've also been told that it sucks for tapping. For me, it didn't really make that much of a difference, but then again, my tapping was never very coordinated, so, you know. Another thing to note is that even though the carbon fiber staff is flexible, it's not as flexible as the white wax wood staffs. As you can see with the pi gun, which is the chopping or striking downwards basic, and beng gun, which is the flicking up basic, force travels a lot more easily through white wax wood staffs, which you can see from the vibrations at the tips of the stabs. This is just more of a visual note to make if you care about that for performance, but again, the difference is just incremental, it's not that big of a deal. One last thing I remember hearing is that even though the carbon fiber staff is more durable than white wax wood stabs, these new stabs can still break the same, so I just be careful with what kind of surface I practice on.
So just to finish up with my final thoughts, just a quick review. The carbon fiber staff compared to the white wax wood staff is only slightly heavier, at least in my experience. There is a bit of a break-in period for this, so I would suggest trying to get as much practice with it as you can. It is pricey. It's around $100, not including shipping, so you're just gonna have to decide whether or not it's worth the money. It is for me, because before I was always just breaking stabs left and right, and I was always just buying more and I was just like throwing money at the problem. So I did need a substitute. So it's very lucky for me that there is this kind of product for people like me. People that have no control and always break their stabs. Yikes. Also, because the staff is manufactured, it does come in fixed sizes, so you can't just cut it down to size like a white wax wood staff. So you pretty much get what you buy. There are 4 fixed sizes on the Kung Fu Direct website. I have 175 centimeters. The largest, I believe, is 180 centimeters. So if you're taller than 180 centimeters, you're pretty much screwed if you want this product. Sorry, tall people. I guess Wushu discriminates against you. Anyways, at the end of the day, it's really up to you whether or not you're going to buy this. If you want to stick with white wax wood, that's fine. I like white wax wood too. If you want to try this out, go for it. So I hope this video helped. It's really just my personal experience, but I hope you guys took something away from this. And thanks for watching.